So, everybody, welcome to our Lunch and Learn today. The purpose is to introduce you to our just approved 2025 to 2029 strategic plan. Hope for horses and their humans. A lot of our work, as you know, has been in the equine space. So, over the past 5 years, we've built a good relationship with Steps with Horses. They were actually I think the first organization that we funded. So they've been with us for the entirety of our existence. And then we've also been strengthening our relationship with them in the city in hopes to bring our program to Grand Prairie in the next few years. And then outside of Grand Prairie, we've been working with some organizations on thoroughbred retirement and welfare. We helped build a welcome center at Old Friends, which is it's really cool. They call it a living museum of equine history, but it's this beautiful farm space where thoroughbreds go and retire, and they have Kentucky Derby winners and all these really fancy horses that you can go and visit. So we're hoping that's something we could bring a piece of that to Texas in the future as well. And then on the human equine front, we have been supporters of organizations such as the Permanently Disabled Jockeys Fund and then several racetrack chaplaincies. Hope for Homes. We, a few years ago, decided we wanted to get in the affordable housing space. And so we've been working with the city on that. We have since gained Community Housing Development Organization certification and are taking some big steps forward to get some affordable homes built, which is very exciting. And then we also work with organizations such as Lifeline for Families on this call today, Grand Prairie United Charities, and Grand Prairie Homeless Outreach Organization, because we know that housing helps people have hope. So when you don't have that, it is a big impact on your life. So we've been in that space and are looking forward to continuing. Hope for Grand Prairie. Y'all are all Grand Prairians on this call. We got started here and we will maintain our roots here, and we're going to remain committed to offering community support. So over the 5 years, we've contributed hundreds of thousands of dollars and a lot of volunteer hours to organizations in Grand Prairie, such as Children First Counseling Center, the YMCA, Playground Adventures, Stars United Global Outreaches programming in Grand Prairie Chamber of Commerce, Lions Club, School District. I mean, y'all know us. We've been kind of everywhere. If you have an event, we'll show up. So we're really happy with all of the relationships that we've made over the past 5 years and look forward to continuing all of those as we grow. And then we also founded the Community Changemakers Coffee Club, which is probably my favorite thing we do right now. I just think it's so important to get everybody in a room together, working together and sharing news and supporting each other and finding ways to collaborate instead of competing. So that's something we'll continue as well. Okay, Hope for Nonprofits. We have been supporting a thriving nonprofit community. So we really want to celebrate and uplift the work of nonprofit organizations. We need nonprofit organizations, and we need to be able to work together and thrive together. So we are continuing to collaborate and work together for collective impact. One of the ways we do this is the Awareness Wednesday YouTube series, and we've done things like today's Lunch and Learn. We've done interviews. Some of y'all have been in it. And then we also connected with 4 interns over the past 5 years to introduce them to nonprofit professions. So that's kind of where we've been. And here's the next 4 years. So we're making some big adjustments to what we're going to do. So we have a new vision. We envision a future where hope and opportunity flourish for all, inspired by successful initiatives pioneered in Grand Prairie, Texas. We've done a lot of learning over the past 5 years, and we think there's a lot going on that could be built on and spread out into the world. So we want to take that learning forward. And our new mission is we collaborate to implement sustainable programs that promote growth and well-being through equine and community development initiatives. So where this is a little bit of a shift is we're leaning into equine initiatives and community development. So we were a little bit more broad before. We're narrowing that focus so that we can work bigger in those areas. And then emphasis here on collaborate. We are aware we are a small organization and that we need to work together. with others to be impactful, and then sustainable programs. We're starting to get a lot more focused on investing the resources, time, talent that we have into programs that can be sustained, including our own. So that's our mission going forward. We have also laid out these core values. So generosity. We believe in being open, patient, accepting, respectful, and giving without expectation. Forward thinking. We look to the future in seeking innovative and cutting edge methods for supporting communities in need. So we want to pivot some to, we're not going to cut anybody off necessarily or stop supporting what we've been supporting, but we do want to all be thinking ahead as a collective and kind of trying to predict future needs a little bit so that we're not just putting the same band-aids on the same issues. We're really thinking about how can we find a sustainable solution to this and look to the future. Collaboration. We want to work together to maximize our impact and reach. Empowerment. We want to uplift our fellow nonprofits and communities in need in order to drive them towards success. So we don't want to come in and be a hero organization and do something for an individual or organization. We want to help you succeed. Inclusion. This is important to us. We invest our efforts into ensuring any and all individuals, regardless of their background, receive the hope and support they need. People need help everywhere. All types of people need help. We don't want to say you deserve help and you don't. So we're looking to be an inclusive organization. We understand that some of the organizations we serve may have tighter restrictions around who they serve, but overall, when you look across our support portfolio and the work we do, we want to be inclusive. And finally, focus. This is coming from, we've been kind of all over the place, and we're feeling like as an organization, we will be more impactful if we get tight around what we're doing. So we want to direct our actions with intentionality to ensure the efficacy of our effort. So this is really about planning ahead and being intentional. Our strategic focus areas. So we've picked 4 strategic focus areas over the next 4 years. Top of mind is sustainability. So for us, that means we have to find a way to be financially sustainable so that we can start these new projects, but we also can't help anybody else if we are not sustainable on our own. So this is one of those put your oxygen mask on before you help others situations. We want to build our equine reputation. We're trying to take some big swings in this space, and we don't have the brand recognition there yet. So we're going to work towards building that reputation so that people know we can be a trusted provider of equine initiatives. Community development. We've been doing a lot of work here already, so this is more of a continuation. And then impact multiplication. We are going to work really hard over the next 4 years to come up with some projects that we can replicate in other spaces or locations. It is important to us that the work we do doesn't help one time and then go away. We want to keep expanding and multiplying that impact. So here's how we're going to do all of that. So on sustainability, the goal here is to build a sustainable organization. Because if we don't have financial solvency beyond our initial funding, we're not going to be able to continue to operate. So specific objectives here are stewarding the resources we currently have. So we want to be very transparent about how we're using our resources, and we want to be we want self-awareness as an organization about how we're spending our money to make sure it makes sense and fund the mission. So we're going to be doing a lot more fundraising for Hope for All over the next 4 years, starting this year. All of this is to expand our capacity to serve. On equine reputation, the goal is to become a known entity in the equine community. So we want to be a benefactor and a program in this space. So we've got to have that credibility and name recognition so that we can attract supporters and collaborators. So that means we're going to be a thought leader in the community, and we're going to create opportunities for engagement within the equine community. So some of this means we've got some strong equine expertise on our board, and we're going to try to use that more. But we're also going to start some more research initiatives. We feel like if we can build sort of an academic base and show the proof of these programs working, we can attract more attention and funding to grow our programs and help with other programs. And so we've got to we got to put more heads together here. So one way we're going to do this is start an advisory council for the Equine Center. So as we're growing, please expect to hear from me on who you think might be a good person to join an advisory council for the Equine Center. Or if you want to join, let me know. On community development, we want to cultivate equal access to hope and opportunity in our community. You might recognize that as being our mission statement. So that's where we've put that mission into this space and then expanded our broader mission. So we want to provide the prerequisites of physiological and psychological safety necessary for hope to flourish. You guys work in these spaces where you know if your basic needs are met, there's very little hope. And so we want to continue partnering with organizations to help as many people as we can find hope and get their needs met. So the big thing for us here is leveraging shelter as a catalyst for community transformation. That's where we will be actually building affordable homes as those opportunities are available, but we will also continue working with organizations we've been connecting with in this space. So Lifeline, for example, we're going to keep working with y'all because you work in this space. And we want to expand pathways to long-term success. Down the road, we want to start looking more into workforce development, educational opportunities. We want to help people be set up for success in whatever field or profession they choose. One of the ways we hope to do this is at the Equine Center and partnering with GPISD or other local school districts to help students learn all of the opportunities that are available to them in the equine space. And then also encouraging ways for the community to help itself. So you're going to kind of see a trend of we don't want to become an organization that's just kind of like throwing resources at problems. We want to empower. We want to empower rather than enable. And so some of that means taking volunteers, using our talents and time to help people flourish and getting more heads together so that we can address root causes, but really teach a man to fish. All right. And impact multiplication. So we want to expand our impact beyond Grand Prairie and North Texas by working smarter, not harder. To have the impact needed to affect real change, we must find ways to work beyond our current regional scope. Now, this is tricky because, as you all know, we're a small organization. So this is really where that collaboration comes in. But we're really hoping to be able to find these projects and programs that have been successful in Grand Prairie and setting down standard operating procedures, looking at what's worked and helping Lifeline, for example. Maybe you have a program that's really successful and you want to teach somebody else how to do it, but you don't have the capacity to write a manual. Maybe Hope for All can come in and help you with that instructional design or create the white papers or help with the research base. So really thinking about how can we take what we're all doing to make the world better and make that teachable and trainable so that others, when they come to you and say, I want to start a nonprofit organization, we'll be able to say, here's our tips for how you can do that. So the objective really is to create that model internally for how we can identify, grow, and replicate at scale. So our milestones, 2025 is our attainable housing year. So we're going to work on everything simultaneously, but our big focus is the attainable housing. Then in 2026, we want that equine center built. Like we are doing it, it's going to happen. And we're going to start with the equine assisted mental health services. In 2027, we want to expand into other services at the Equine Center, whether that be the thoroughbred retirement piece or the educational piece, just expanding beyond the mental health services. And then in 2028, we want to have identified a pilot that we can replicate somewhere. So for now, what that means in 2025 is we are going to build and sell 3 homes in the Alice Court development in Grand Prairie. We are going to secure a location for the Grand Prairie Equine Center. We are going to review and revise internal standard operating procedures to align with 2025 to 2029 strategic plan. And some of that's going to be looking at our governance structures, like looking at our bylaws and board makeup and things like that. But some of that will also be reconfiguring how we determine what grants and sponsorships we do, coming up with a really solid communication plan. So doing sort of the operations work that we need to be sustainable. And then finally, developing and launching project-specific fundraising plans for attainable housing, the Equine Center, and building our capacity. So that is what we're going to do over the next 4 years.